Are you excited?
We got 3 angry young men in our room
Three
right
angry
now.
young white men.
We are recording. We're starting this recording an hour and a half past the hour later than usual time we scheduled to record because we could not stop kvetching about stuff in the world.
Stupid lives.
You're looking at or listening
this
to.
This is 3 stressed out dudes.
And this is going to be a fun-ass episode.
Oh, boy.
This is going to be a barrel of monkey dicks right here. I'm Griffin Newman.
I'm David Sims.
And this is Producer Ben.
A.K.A. Ben Deucer, A.K.A. Producer Ben, A.K.A. The Haas, A.K.A. The Poet Laureate, A.K.A. Mr. Positive.
And may I say hello, Fennel.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey, thank you.
You're very welcome.
And a hello, Fennel, to you. This is Griffin and David present Attack of the Podcast.
Yep.
A show in which we talk about the second Phantom Menace movie.
Yep.
Attack of the Clones.
I ate a Five Guys cheeseburger at 11:30 this morning.
I haven't eaten. I ordered Domino's at 1:40.
That's disgusting.
Yeah,
How could you order Domino's? You live in New York City.
I'm in a really dark place. It's like Domino's is kind of like my heroin, where I only do it when I want to destroy myself.
Does it come with a dipping sauce?
You
grew
can
up in
order one.
England
I
where it
didn't.
comes with
I
a dipping
didn't. I didn't
sauce.
want to treat myself that nice. I didn't deserve it. I'm a
They
piece
have
of garbage.
the pizza with the little hot dog.
Oh, no, that is Pizza
Little
Hut.
Caesar.
That is Pizza Hut.
That's yes, correct.
Pizza Hut.
Oh, sorry,
That's Pizza Hut.
With the
Little
detachable
Caesar.
pig in blankets as the crust.
Yes.
Although then if you detach them, you just kind of have a cheese triangle. Like it's a little hard to eat the rest of it.
Then you just
there's
eat
not a lot
crustless
to-
pizza.
Yeah.
No one would buy crustless pizza, and that's what
I
they're
don't
selling.
know.
They're selling crustless pizza with some free pigs and blankets. A Little Caesar now has a pretzel pizza.
Ooh.
Pizza's a pretzel. Guys, we live in a terrible world.
We were just talking about the Fat Jew and Vine stars.
Yeah,
a lot of things.
No, but to be clear, we're talking about a man who self-identifies as the Fat Jew.
Not just a random fat Jew that
Right.
we were pejoratively referring to that way.
Right. Exactly.
All right. There's so many ways we could take that joke.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out who the funniest reference was.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
So welcome, episode 6 of Attack of the Podcast.
Attack of the Podcast.
Episode, 17 of Griffin and David Present?
We did 11 plus Judging the Judge.
No, we did. So 18.
This is 18.
Wow.
You realize we've done over 24 hours of...
Oh, we should smush it all into one big thing that's someone to listen to. Oh, before we start, we have to talk about Michael Jackson maybe playing Jar Jar Binks. I can't forget that.
Yes, we do have a little housekeeping to do.
Yeah,
I'd like to say
It's
this.
been 2 weeks.
I'd like to say this one thing before we even say that.
Go
At the
ahead, go
request of Hello Fennel himself, guys, please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes.
Yeah.
This has been 18 straight weeks of Ben telling us to do that.
And you never do it.
Never do
do
it.
it.
Hey, guys, rate and
it's
review
so
us.
easy.
Yeah.
Just
We have
subscribe
some.
if you're already subscribed. Leave a comment. 5
Let
stars.
me see if I can find a review.
You knock us up the charts if you do so. It's so easy to do. You yourself, I think, posted 2 separate reviews.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We do have a perfect 10 for 10 right now.
Is that true?
We have 10 5-star ratings. I'm a little nervous to ask people to rate because I like that we have quality over quantity.
I think quantity is crucial, though.
Quantity would be great.
In terms of iTunes metrics, I don't really know though.
Definitely. We're all so angry right now. We're seething with rage.
We're all
about
boiling
a
over.
myriad of topics.
None of which we should really be that mad
We're not
about.
gonna-
We should
no.
probably chill out about
No,
everything.
things in our personal lives, things in the media, Pixels, box office gross this weekend.
We need to see Pixels. I
need
almost
to see
proposed
Pixels.
like a halt in Attack of the Podcast so we could just
Do
talk
a
about
Pixels?
Pixels. Maybe we'll do that next week.
Pixels the litter.
Pixel Pix.
Pixel Pix.
Pixel of the litter.
Have
you seen it?
I have not. I've been waiting.
Yeah, we need to see it.
to do a 10-part podcast
we gotta see it.
miniseries. Okay, Jar Jar Binks, actor.
Oh, yeah. So
Ahmed
my
Best.
friend Alex Barron, shout out Alex Barron, he emailed me right away saying, like,
Yeah.
you guys need to talk about this on the next episode. So
He did an interview about now.
he is dead.
Ahmed Best.
Oh, no, Ahmed Best. Sorry.
Ahmed
Michael
Best.
Jackson is dead, though.
Ahmed Best, the actor who gave us Jar Jar Binks, did an interview now looking back 16 years later on his whole experience, the sort of bile that was thrown at him.
Yeah, for playing an orange frog.
Right. In a bad movie.
Yeah.
And it was like looking back on his whole experience. It was his first acting job. He had been a performer in Stomp. It was like his
Yeah, he
first
was on
screen
Stomp,
role.
right.
And it's a fascinating interview, and he talks about it actually with a I think surprising poise and grace and a clear-eyed sort of sense of everything it was. But the big thing that came out was he said when they were filming, George Lucas brought them to a Michael Jackson concert.
That sounds right.
So Natalie Portman and Jake Lloyd and Ahmed Best went. and they went backstage.
What a crew.
The Mod Squad. my holy trinity.
Yeah, George Lucas's next thing was gonna reboot the Mod Squad again. Only
Jake
2 years
Lloyd,
later with
Natalie
Jake Lloyd.
Portman.
Jake Lloyd in the Giovanni Ribisi role.
Right.
Natalie Portman in the Claire Danes role.
Yeah.
And Ahmed Best in the Omar Epps role.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They would have killed it.
Oh, of course.
If only Phantom Menace had done better than being the third highest grossing film of all time, maybe that would have gotten greenlit. The 3 lead actors of the third highest grossing film of all time.
What a shout out to the Mod Squad reboot.
I know, right?
The original actors, I can't even name the original actors. Anyway, let's go
Peggy
on.
Lipton, mother of Rashida Jones.
Oh, cool.
I don't remember the other two.
And Lipton's iced tea. Yeah.
She was the mother of Lipton's iced tea that came out of her
All right.
birthing canal.
I just want to read one of our reviews. Queen of the Moon says, "If only I could give this podcast a Portman's dozen of stars."
That's really funny. I like that a lot.
See?
Ben looks like he has notes, but also is just holding up a page with a lot of doodles. He's looking very intently at a page in a notebook where he's just scribbled out a bunch
chicken
of words.
scratch.
The end of the story. So he brings him backstage
Michael Jackson
to meet
concert.
Michael Jackson. And he's like, "Hi, this is Jake Lloyd." And, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you, Jake Lloyd." And Jake Lloyd's like, "Oh, are you an angel?" And it's like Natalie Portman. And she's like, "I will not allow this committee." And he's like, "Nice to meet you, too." And then he's like,
This is all word for word from the interview.
yeah. And then it's like, "Michael Jackson, this is Ahmed Best. He plays Jar Jar." And Michael Jackson was like, "Oh."
Wow, he threw shade.
And Ahmed Best was like, afterwards, he was like, what was up with that? With Michael Jackson's voice dropping 17 octaves suddenly. And he went, Michael really wanted to play Jar Jar.
Insane. Now, I have a quick take on this.
Yes.
Movie would have been better if Michael Jackson
No
played
question.
Jar Jar. I don't think there's any question at all. Because, one, any accusation of, like, racism or the part being bad would be washed away by, like, yeah, but Michael Jackson's crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
He just doesn't know how people behave.
Yeah, so there would be a lot less, like, things, a lot less anger thrown around because, well, it's Michael Jackson. What do you expect?
But it's also, and this ties into what our episode today is circling around, circusing on. This is our
episode's
second,
a real circus.
Our second performance review.
Woo!
In which we review every single acting performance in Attack of the Clones. And a big thing...
Until we get tired of going down the IMDb credits list, which is very long.
I think the big thing we talked about in the Phantom Menace performance review is that this was such a big movie. You had all these actors, various levels of, established cred and very different backgrounds and everything. But the big thing they had in common was I think no one wanted to question what Georgie Porgy was telling them to do.
Sure.
Here's this guy. He's made massively successful movies.
American Graffiti and all...
some other...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He
he's
produced
producer.
Indiana Jones films.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Huge hits. And so, like, no one's going to stand up to him and say, like, I want to do it this way instead. Michael Jackson's a lunatic. Was a lunatic. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Mike.
And he would have just been like, George, I'm going to do
It's quite possible.
whatever
I
the
think
fuck I want.
George may have just realized, this is not someone I'm going to be able to direct. Yeah,
He might have just rewritten the part and played it however he wanted to. Do you know why it didn't happen?
Why?
Creative differences. It sounded like it was very close to happening, except Michael Jackson wanted to do the entire performance practically. He wanted to be in front of the camera, in makeup, in a suit, and George was like, no, it has to be digital. Do you want to be the voice? And he was like, no, I don't want to be the fucking voice.
That's how he said it.
Yeah. His voice dropped another octave. No, I don't want to be the fucking
I don't
voice.
want to be the fucking voice.
See you later, George.
Michael Jackson, what a weirdo. I still think he would have been better.
No question he would have been better.
Yeah, R.I.P. Mike.
But this interview made me realize it was perhaps not Ahmed Best's fault. He was told, hey, you're in Star Wars, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace is going to be the start of a
Big
massive franchise. Who knows how many films he's going to make after this?
We're going to make a zillion toys with your, frog face on it.
And he's like, great, what do I have to do? And they go, just do it exactly as it's written.
Yeah, right. Is that what he says? That he was just doing it as it was written?
No, but I'm saying that's what he did.
Well,
I don't think he creatively reinterpreted. I think the script as written is like, oh, misa usa doo-doo, like... We talked about this a lot in the last performance review. There's one more thing I want to do, housekeeping.
Oh.
Did you watch the silent cut that was sent to us?
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, but you're aware of this?
Oh, of course. I mean, I watched some of it. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding it right now.
I'm too, because I want to get the proper title. Okay, so our friend of the show, listener, Colin Scott, Twitter handle Colin It Quits, with 2 L's in Colin, posted, he didn't edit, I believe it's 15 minutes long.
Yeah, that's it. I watched I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes of it before. I was like on a subway or something.
I watched the whole thing. It's called Silent Attack, and it was inspired by a comment I had made that George has said that he views these as like silent movies and that the dialogue is wallpaper and it's just about the ships moving.
Right.
And that maybe, perhaps, we should put it to the test and see if the film would work.
Just with the music.
You strip it of color, you just have the music and the actions, and you see if it plays like an old silent serial.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it's kind of fucking rad.
It is. It's great.
He picked a couple scenes, so we're not getting the whole movie, and I don't know if every single scene would work, but he picked the opening.
He's got the title, and then he has the whole
assassination
Coruscant
attempt
stuff. Yeah.
Then he has the speeder chase, but he cuts out a lot of stuff in the middle.
Sure.
But there are a couple dialogue scenes where he created like inner titles, like old movie style inner titles, where you'll see the characters flap their mouths, and then it'll cut to only the pertinent dialogue. Which I will say, when you're just reading small clips of dialogue, the fact that the dialogue is that expository becomes less painful.
Of course.
And B, when you're not hearing their
especially Hayden Christensen's dumb Bronx voice. Yeah.
But they're like overly emotive, like hammy, like fucking faces and body language actually plays better when you're like, well, that was the only way they were going to convey their feelings.
That's how the Silent Stars did it.
And the ships look great. I mean, maybe George has a point. Like maybe George just wants to be making silent films, and he doesn't have the courage to actually go through with it. That's really funny. He put in an intertell that says we sure do a lot of banter for a silent movie. Yeah. But it's really I was very impressed with the cut.
We got to share it out. We haven't shared it out.
So please, a Silent Attack from Colin Scott, a.k.a. Colin It Quits. Please watch it. It's incredible. Colin, thank you so much for that. Now we're on to Performance Review, Part 2.
Boom!
The Star Wars movies, the Phantom Menace movies, they're constantly attacked for having shitty performances.
And we're going to keep track, as we did last time.
Right, so we're going to have 2 columns.
Good and bad.
Good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll keep a tally.
Oh, you're going to keep a tally. Great.
So we're going to try to make
keep it mysterious
a definitive assessment about whether or not the acting in the movie is bad. Because I don't like general statements like, oh, all the acting is bad. You know?
Yeah, but do you remember last time that we came close?
We came really close. We have to be a little harsher this time.
Yeah, we got to be a little harsh because we were saying like, oh yeah, that guy who has one line of dialogue, he did fine, great.
Yeah. And the acting in that movie is bad.
It is.
We can't be
We were really worried at the end. We were like, oh, this is like 15 to 17.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go. This is IMDb cast.
IMDb cast
order.
Billing list.
Okay.
We're going to start with the top.
Okay.
Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Now, we gave him
a thumbs down last time.
Real big thumbs down.
Yeah. He's real shit in Phantom Menace.
And we like him as an actor. Not all the time, but we talked about when he's good, he's great.
Yes. Yeah, I like him as an actor.
He's done some really, really good performances. In Phantom Menace, he's totally drowning. This movie asks a lot more of him.
It does.
It really kind of ups him to the co-lead, if not the very lead.
He's first build.
Yeah.
First build.
Yeah, but he...
And he shoulders the B plot. But
it's
weird
all on
him.
It's the subplot.
It is all on him, though.
It
it's
is
not,
all on him.
the other one is 2 leads, and he's the sole lead. Yeah.
But his character grows up a lot in between the 2 movies.
True.
Hayden Christensen has to take on a character someone else played, so he doesn't have to think about growth. He has to think about just his dumb Bronx accent. Natalie Portman is playing 6 months younger in terms of actual performance than what she played in the first movie.
We'll talk about her.
But Ewan McGregor's the one guy who convincingly shows the passage of 10 years, I would argue.
Yeah.
And not just in the sometimes fake beard he's wearing, but I think in body language, in attitude,
No,
in
I actually
confidence,
agree with you.
in authority.
I think that he's the most relaxing performer to watch of the major performers, where you're like, okay, this doesn't feel like completely stilted and like almost awkward to watch. Like,
And save for a couple choice moments of just weirdness.
Yeah. And the accent, which he's
always
he's
great.
still struggling with it.
It does feel like
It does feel like he's trying to imitate an actor. Sometimes.
Yeah, it definitely feels like he's trying to imitate like an older style of like
a more 40s or 50s sort of.
Yeah, sort of like the great British screen actors.
Pimlico. Sorry, not Pim. What's it called? Ealing Studios type actor. Yeah.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Right. Like maybe Peter Sellers is like what he's trying to play.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Or,
There's some of the Ealing comedies.
Yeah.
But this is old hat for him now. He knows how fucking George works. He knows how little he's going to be given. He knows he's playing off the green screen.
This is the thing. He feels the most comfortable with. It's still not great, but with the bad dialogue and the green screen, I think he's got a handle on it.
I'll say it's a good performance, though. I want to vote for it to be a good performance.
Yeah, let's give him a good. I'm with you.
I don't think it's a great character, but I think he's doing really good work, and he definitely gets our most improved award.
Sure.
It's night and day.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Well, what about Samuel Jackson? Well, we'll get to him.
We'll get to him.
And we should mention it if we don't Agree. Ben has to split the tie.
Ben has to split the tie, of course. They call him the tie splitter, and that's another nickname.
They do.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2, Natalie Portman as Padme.
Okay. Now
That's how she's credited, by the way. Padme.
Just Padme.
Yep.
Not Nabire, not Amidala, not Senator, just Padme.
Just Padme, at least on IMDb.
We gave her a bad rating.
I think we gave her a sympathetic bad.
Yeah.
I think we were
over
sympathetic.
her head.
Yeah. Very strange role, and you got the dual role in Phantom.
Yes.
Which is odd.
Yes.
The
accent, the costumes.
She is worse in this movie.
Yeah, I would agree with you. She's worse. Now, she has a lot of things going against her. She's got Hayden Christensen bringing her down.
She's mostly asked to play romantic scenes, and the actor she's paired with, the two of them have no chemistry together.
They have no chemistry, and that can't all be on Hayden. Natalie, come on now.
It takes two to non-tango. You know what I'm
Very
saying?
True. I'm trying to... Okay, now I'm interested. I'm trying to think of Natalie Portman's romantic partners in films over the years. So we've got Chris Hemsworth in the Thor movies, who I think she has a fair amount of chemistry with. By then, she's very loose, very light.
She's goofy.
Has
in
a
those
lot
movies.
of fun
She's
with
fun,
that stuff.
But she's also playing a very specific type of chemistry with him, which is that she's like the 13-year-old girl in love with the high school quarterback. Like her whole attitude in those movies is that she's just sort of enamored of him and goofy head over heels. But she's very fun in them.
I think she's fun in them.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. We've got Your Highness. Remember that movie?
Danny McBride. Not a ton of chemistry.
No.
No
strings attached with Ashton Kutcher. I think she's kind of pulling that one over.
I think so too. I think she's actually doing some heavy lifting on that one.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there hasn't... This is what I'm saying. I don't think there's been a ton...
Closer.
...of...
Yeah, but that's like a movie about people who hate each other. That's like a movie about people just being angry at each other and ostensibly loving each other.
Other Berlin Girl is one of the worst movies ever made.
Never seen that. Her and Eric Bana.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying.
She might not have a... Yeah.
She doesn't have a lot of straight up romantic roles outside of No Strings Attached and the Thor movies.
Yeah.
Does she have a romantic interest in Where the Heart Is?
If she does, it's a minor plot line. I mean, that's really...
Because mostly she's having that baby.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen that movie. Or if I have, I forgot it.
If she does, it's a minor one. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So...
I mean, look, that might not be her strong suit.
It might not, but it definitely is not her strong suit in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, I do want to give...
and that's basically all she does, like you say. I like her in the action scene at the end.
And I've spoken about this. I do like her performance in that final scene where she finally tells him that she loves him before they go out into the arena.
I do too.
I think it plays like a young... I think that one scene, the actual subtext of who this character is and what she's gone through actually comes to the fore in the performance, where it's like, this is a little girl who's thrown into crazy circumstances and is so overwhelmed by everything. And I think in that scene, she plays it in this very, very sweet, genuine kind of way where she's just like a girl being like, I just love you. And she can't stop crying.
Right.
It doesn't make sense why she loves him.
No.
But she convincingly plays someone who is in love in that moment.
Okay.
I like that one scene. I want to give her props to that one scene. It's not a good performance.
Right. It's not good.
It's not a good performance.
We have to move on.
Put it down for
give
bad.
her a no. We have to move on to Hayden Christensen.
Bad performance.
Plays Anakin Skywalker
It's a bad
in the film.
performance.
It's a terrible performance.
It's a terrible performance.
It's the most ruinous performance in the film. In Phantom, who would you give that award to? Would it be Ahmed Best or would it be Jake Lloyd?
I would say Jake Lloyd.
Oh, interesting. So wow. So Anakin's really the millstone in these movies.
Yeah, I really think this character is badly written. And,
it's terribly written.
And he's essentially...
It's like they're trying to justify some huge payoff.
Yeah.
But it's so baffling because he's mostly just kind of a boring, annoying little tool.
He's also massively different between the two films.
Yeah, it's very
it's
true.
essentially two separate characters, both of whom suck in writing and performance.
And both of whom the movie is obsessed with and you're not totally sure why. You're like, this is a crazy universe.
Yeah, are we missing something?
Yeah, we're
Is
definitely
like the
missing
question
something.
I have
We're
the
definitely
whole
missing
time.
something.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
With both of these.
Yeah.
Specifically to that character.
I also think it's weird that these movies are so much about how powerful he is, and we don't see that many examples. Do you know what I'm saying? You see, he's good at flying a
pod
speeder.
racer. Yeah,
yeah,
right.
but you're not seeing he's a Jedi who's really getting a grasp on these things. It's a bad performance.
It's a bad performance.
We talk about it every episode. We don't need to talk about it anymore.
Next, Christopher Lee as Count Dooku / Darth Tyranus.
I mean, this is a great performance.
It's the best performance in the film by far. It is.
There's one candidate I'd maybe throw above. We'll get to that one.
But I think this is the point for like last time I was like maybe a little too effusive about Ian McDermott.
I was gonna say, I mean, McDermott has less to do in it. I still maybe vote that McDermott's the best performer because this character's so good.
I think Christopher Lee is handed the same platter of shit that everyone else gets in this movie. Really, really bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, you need to walk into the room and just deliver reams of exposition. And he's like,
in front of a green screen.
In front of a green screen.
Right.
And he's just like, watch me nail it.
You have to first appear 20 minutes before the end of a 2.5 hour long movie.
Whole movie.
Yeah.
You walk into a room and you just start spouting exposition.
Yeah.
To a suspended, non-interested, non-responsive character who's just like, you know.
He's a class act.
It is masterful.
It's masterful.
And then you're going to fight a cartoon green, like, old man, and you're going to make that work too.
And it's like good footwork, good form. I like that he's sort of doing more classical, sort of like, because his lightsaber is shaped differently. We haven't talked about this yet.
Lightsaber.
He's got this curved lightsaber.
It's the same though, because the blade is the same.
Oh, no question. But the form of how he holds
it, it's very cool.
It changes the way he fights. Design standpoint, it makes no sense whatsoever. But whereas all the other lightsabers, it tends to be a two-handed kind of like classic sword fighting, this kind of thing. This is more like fencing. Like he's sticking the one arm out and kind of doing that.
And maybe that's to compensate for his lack of mobility. He's an older man, but it works.
It gives him more power, and it actually makes him more terrifying because he's just so controlled and so old school. It's a great fucking performance. I mean, he's like turning like it's water into wine.
It's water into wine.
It's water into wine.
It's poop into wine.
It's poop into. He's turning diarrhea into poop wine.
So he's a good.
He's a good.
Samuel L. Jackson as Mace Windu.
See, this is an interesting one.
He is fifth build.
Where did we land on Samuel Jackson last time?
I don't remember. I think we gave him a no because he's really boring and annoying.
It was kind of a coin toss.
He's sort of a coin toss, because you're kind of like
a good actor. He's got a lot of presence.
Yeah, and you're like, well, he's fine, but what is this?
Yeah,
like,
the
why
character doesn't make any fucking sense.
He's like the second banana in the boring council of weirdos. Like,
and then this movie gives him a lot more to do, and I still don't know where the fuck I stand on him. Who is this guy?
I kind of like him in this movie because
I like him more.
I mean, he has more to do. So he's got some scenes with Yoda where they're kind of chatting like a lot of like, oh boy, this is not going well for us.
It stops being that they're like second banana and more like they're Riggs and Murdoch. Like they're like the two guys who are like trying to solve the case.
Or it's like they're like the mayor and the controller, you know, and they've been handed comptroller, and they've been handed this like terrible situation, like this budgetary nightmare, and they're like, how do we fix this? We don't know. Then at the end, he has some action.
Well, even that's what I'd say. This movie kind of justifies his character a little more. There's the line early where they go like Master Yoda, known for his wisdom, Master Windu, known for his power, and it's like, oh, that's his role. He's the fucking most powerful.
He's the enforcer.
He's the enforcer, but he's got the fucking skills to pay the bills. And even when he walks in and says, party's over line, which is a fucking garbage line of poo-poo dialogue.
Terrible, terrible, terrible.
I do like the idea that it's like, okay, these Jedis are like, they're enforcers of the peace.
Yeah.
But he's the guy you don't want to fuck with, and he comes in and starts fucking shit up. Yeah. Like, I do like that we finally get a sense of who he is as a human being.
Sure,
because it's a little bit. More than the last time.
But then it's like, what?
He's got these anger problems that he's got on lock, but like, he's like the fucking Hulk, and like, if you let him go, he's going to start cutting heads off.
We giving him a good?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Let's give him a bad. Step your game up. No, all right, you know what? He's fine. George writes him terribly. He's all right. Now, where are you? Where are you on this?
I think we got to throw to Ben on this one.
Wait a second.
I think we're both tied. I think both of us are tied.
But
so
I want to say something.
Yes.
Samuel L. Jackson is he can be given to overacting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of directors, I think shoddier directors, who are just like, why don't I just cut him loose for a couple scenes?
Yes.
He'll rant and rave like he's done so many times, and like that'll save the scene, even though like it's, and he doesn't do that.
And another thing with him is
he's playing a character
in this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, like he's keeping it restrained. He has a whole thing. He's not just at one scene just like, yes, I deserve to die and I hope they burn in hell. He doesn't do that.
And I'll say he also does like have a tendency
Joel Schumacher is a bad director.
Oh, Joel Schumacher is a terrible director.
Of actors.
Yes.
And he's other things too. I met him though. He's very nice.
I auditioned for him 3 times.
Wow. For which movie? Phantom?
What was it called? 12?
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah. And every time I came in, he gave me completely different notes than the last time.
Interesting.
And I just have to share this story because this is the best.
Go ahead. No, please.
This is my third audition for him, right? And I was like, I guess I'm going to get some. But every time it's a different character. And the first time he goes...
But they like you, and they're bringing you back.
Griffin, I think you're playing it way too serious. You know, I think these people are very funny. I mean, I find these kids very humorous. Yeah. So really find the humor in it. So I, like, do that. I get a call back, and I'm like, okay, man, they want your fucking joke skills. Find the humor. And I go in, and I
do it funny.
Do the cold read. And he goes, you know, Griffin, these are real people, so we have to take them seriously. Right? So then I get a second callback. I have a third audition for each time I'm reading maybe 2 or 3 different characters. Sure. Like, we're going to have you read Jimmy. We're going to have you read Ghost Boy, like whatever the character's names are.
Right.
There's a troubled, quote-unquote, troubled Upper West Side rich kids in New York is the movie. And so they're auditioning like every young actor in New York. The third time I go in and I was like, because I was like, I need to know, am I funny? Am I serious? So I like kind of just tried to ask, like, I'm just trying to figure out like what the basic tone of how you want this character to play is. And he just pauses and he goes, you know, Griffin, I think asking how to act is a little like asking, you know, how to have sex. You can't really ask what you need to be doing right. You know, I think if in the moment you're just going, is this good? Does this feel good? It's not good. You just have to. You
just have to go. I see what
have
you're
the
saying.
Sex. And I went, oh, all I ever do is ask people while I'm having sex with them. If
you
what
said
I'm
that
doing
out
is
loud?
Correct. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of killed that moment.
Yeah,
he went, ha ha. Okay, well, let's try. So yeah.
But you didn't get anything.
Joel Schumacher's note is that acting should be like fucking, and you shouldn't think about what you're doing and just try to make someone come.
I met him at a screening of
He was very nice. He was very nice, to be clear.
He's
very
so
nice.
nice.
Very,
he has a
very
great
nice.
reputation.
Yeah.
Like, actors love him.
Yeah.
Which is why I think he brings in things like on budget, on time. Like, I think he's a solid, like, bad director. He's made some decent movies, but he's made a lot of movies.
I like Falling Down. I know it's a kind of
Falling Down's it's
a lightning rod of a film.
Yeah,
but I actually think it's well made.
I like Tigerland. I think Tigerland.
Yeah, Tigerland. I think is good.
Made.
Yeah.
I kind of like A Time to Kill, as much as I was just ragging on it. It's kind of a fun movie.
For those of you tuning in, this is our Joel Schumacher performance review in which we go through every Joel Schumacher film.
I've seen Batman Forever probably 25 times.
Yeah, I hate that movie.
It's terrible.
I've seen Batman and Robin more than Batman Forever. Batman Forever I just can't even put up.
I've seen Batman Forever so many times because I loved it when I was 10 years old.
I hate that.
Yeah, we should do a Batman Forever episode. Anyway.
So that was another installment of Griffin and David kind of alienating themselves to the industry.
Right. But I met him once at a London Film Festival screening of 21 Grams, and he was the nicest. I met him. He's like a director I've met who doesn't make great movies, but was so nice. And another one is Chris Columbus. Directed Pixels.
Chris Columbus seems like a real man.
I met him at the DVD release of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah,
Sorcerer's Stone in this country. And my mother knew him because she wrote about those movies for the Daily News because when we lived in Britain.
Mm-hmm.
And she said he's really nice, and he's really, really nice.
I will say this does fit into Ben. You were saying we're alienating the audience. This does fit into what I think is becoming the larger, overarching narrative of Griffin and David Presents, which our friend Ramona pointed out to us, which is just people who will now never hire Griffin.
Right. I'm fine.
You're totally.
I'm a critic.
You're a critic. This is your job. Ben's just a fucking Ben-deucer. He's got it on lock.
It's all on you.
I'm not booking Pixels 2 anymore.
No one's booking Pixels 2.
Yeah, Pixels 2 isn't booking Pixels 2.
All right.
Why were we talking about Joel Schumacher?
Because of Samuel L. Jackson's performance in A Time to Kill.
I was going to say, you were saying he can just yell a lot and throw down the force. The other thing he can do is load on a bunch of ticks. When he's given an underwritten character, he just fucking designs it and comes up with some weird look and a bunch of weird affectations at the expense of figuring out an actual human being underneath any of that.
Sure.
And this is, I mean, one could argue to a fault, but in a way respectable, one of the least ticky performances I've ever seen.
He's not doing anything.
Straight as an arrow.
It's all look.
He
looks great.
It's all presence.
He carries the robes off better than anyone. He is bald. Yep.
Because
sometimes Samuel Jackson will have like a weird beard or he'll have some sort of funny hairdo.
Yeah, he does fucking design elements to make up for the lack of a character.
He has... I would love to do a whole feature on the glasses Samuel Jackson has worn in various movies.
Samuel Jackson, who has no hair...
Yeah, he's a bald man.
Has a hair guy in every single movie. He's like, I want to do something different. He's got a guy where it's just like, can we do something with my facial hair, with the color, with what I do have? Like, every movie.
Like Jeremy Piven and a few other actors, he's an actor who has gotten younger as the time has passed.
No question.
I think that's now reversing because he's actually quite old now. But
now he's like,
Mace Windu, he looks like he could be 35. I think he's probably like 55 or something. But, whereas Jungle Fever 20 years ago, he looks like he's 100 years old.
Yeah, fuck it. I like his performance. The more we talk about
we
it,
love Sam Jackson.
I like Sam Jackson.
He's
in this
the best.
movie. He's doing good work.
Anyway, Sam Jackson gets a yes.
He gets a
Next,
yes.
Frank Oz is Yoda.
And once again,
We
what
talked
the
about
fuck
this
is this
before. Why
character?
is Frank Oz playing this character? Oh, God.
Frank Oz, famed puppeteer, a great filmmaker in his own right.
Yeah, he's okay.
As a filmmaker or puppeteer?
Filmmaker. Great puppeteer.
I mean, he's made
Who's
like...
going to beef with him as a puppeteer? He's pretty famous.
Yeah. He's
made
like
some
4
great-
movies I love as much
he
as
made
anything.
the Muppet movies. But
Well,
he also,
yes,
but
also Little Shop
he
of
made
Horrors
Bowfinger, and he
and
made Little
Bowfinger.
Shop of Horrors. Yeah, those are great.
Yeah.
And he made The Indian in the Cupboard, which I think is pretty good.
That's a movie I think is incredibly solid. But I'm saying you look at the Muppets
and he
Take
made What
Manhattan.
About Bob, which is interesting. I forgot about that.
Muppets Take Manhattan, Little Shop of Horrors, and Bowfinger are maybe 3 of my 50 favorite movies ever.
Fair enough. What about In and Out?
In and Out is another solid one for me.
Solid.
I like In and Out.
Dated.
I like What About Bob a lot. I like Indian in the Cupboard.
It's just that after Bowfinger, he made The Score, Stepford Wives, Death at a Funeral. He made three turds.
Yeah, well, I mean, people fall off. You
Yeah,
know?
it's just interesting.
It does
It's crazy
feel like
that
most
he made The
filmmakers
Score.
have their...
Remember when The Score came out?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, this is it. You got Brando.
Yeah.
Then you got Brando's heir, De Niro. Then you got De Niro's heir, Edward Norton.
He was unquestionably the heir apparent at that point.
And I like Edward Norton, and I'm always interested in what he has to do, but he is not De Niro's heir.
No,
That
and
is
in
not a
retrospect,
mantle
that
he
was
has
a
claimed.
weird horse to bet
And
on.
also,
Yeah.
that movie is horseshit. It is so bad.
I was telling someone, this is just a podcast now of us telling stories about other movies and other directors. This is what Performance Review is. I was telling my friend Sarah a story the other day that I think is incredible. So Brando hated Frank Oz.
Interesting. Well,
Didn't respect him.
And didn't he do it with his pants off or
Yes,
something?
this
Right,
is the story.
This is the story.
This
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
story.
yeah, right.
So Brando, from day one, agreed to do the movie. Was probably
This
paid
is his
$5 million.
last movie, right?
I think. God, was it his very last screen performance? It
be.
might have been.
I think it's
I thought
his
it was
last.
the Island. Was
No, that was
Islands of Dr.
before.
Moreau
That
was
was
before.
before.
That
Yeah.
movie's out of its mind.
He was supposed to do Scary Movie 2 right after this. They were going to pay him like $7 million to be the opening scene of Scary Movie 2, and he showed up on set with a respirator tank and could barely breathe and was like, I'm ready.
Yep.
And
The
they
Score
like
is his
fired
last
him on the set.
movie.
The Score is his last film.
movie, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so that's Marlon Brando's...
Unless you count Superman Returns.
He's great in that.
Posthumous. He is.
He is great in that. He agrees to do the film. They pay him a lot of money. He shows up on the first day. Frank Oz gives him a note. He goes, I'm not fucking listening to you. You're Miss Piggy.
It's funny that he knows that.
He knows it.
You know, living on his weird tropical island with all his like creepy lady
Yeah.
servants or whatever, but he's like, no, I know this guy's Miss Piggy.
Yeah, so anytime...
Why did he agree to do the movie?
Exactly. Anytime Frank Oz is like, okay, so for this one, I think we're going to do, start off with a wide. And he's like, no, you Miss Piggy. We're not doing a wide. So 2 incredible things happen. One is that for the entire duration of the shoot of the score, Robert De Niro is every day wearing a microscopic earpiece. And Frank Oz whispers into Robert De Niro's ear what he needs as a director. And then De Niro just
asks
goes,
for it.
hey, Marlon, can I throw something out at you? He's like, yeah, sure. And he's like, maybe try doing this time. And Brandon's like, yeah, sounds like a great idea. My impressions are on fleek this episode.
They're great.
And so, like, Robert De Niro surrogate directed
Right.
all of
De Niro's a
Marlon
great
Brando.
director, by the way.
Yeah.
Good Shepherd is a fucking masterpiece.
But he didn't pretend like he was the director. He just went like,
Yeah,
hey,
no, he's just
little,
like, hey,
peer-to-peer
well,
advice. Yeah.
Not only is he a great director, he's a great actor.
I
So
mean-
he's acting like he's not a director.
That's the thing. I mean, that's the incredible
De Niro.
performance. I'd love to watch
De Niro
that
should have gotten an
performance
Oscar for the score.
for the behind-the-scenes footage
Best
of the
surrogate,
score.
yeah, best the scenes performance.
Yeah,
What
and
if
then
the Oscars did that every year?
be great.
Best like bullshit,
Yeah.
like, you know, from an actor like pretending to like someone.
And then, yeah, the story you were building up to is there was one scene where Brando believed it should be played entirely in a close-up.
Right.
He was like, this is my emotional beat. I want it entirely in a close-up and nothing else with no edits and no coverage.
Yeah.
And Frank Oz was like, I want a wide to like get us into the scene. And Brando was like, nope, only close-up.
Right.
And Frank Oz was like, I need a wide. And Brando
Right.
was like, okay, let me go back to my trailer and change.
What he did is brilliant. And
Brilliant.
he must have been 80 years old at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He can barely walk.
Right.
He looks like Jabba the Hutt, noted Gorg spitter from the Phantom Menace.
He does. He looks terrible.
Yes. He comes out on set just with no pants and no underwear.
No pants. Yeah.
He's just wearing a shirt, and then his dick and balls are hanging out.
I mean, maybe. I imagine they're obscured by his massive gut.
His dick and balls are in the wind.
They're in there somewhere. His ass is hanging out.
They are hitting fresh air. Whether or not they're visible depends on where you're standing in relation to his tummy. But his dick and balls are out. And he goes, oh, okay, I'm ready for that wide shot. And they just can't do it because the wide shot.
Did no one say like, oh, could you put your pants on? Though we need your pants to be on for this
They did,
scene.
and he went, oh, no, I'm ready to shoot. I'm good to go. Let's
Anyway,
let's
Frank
roll.
Oz gets a thumbs down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I already marked that.
And he couldn't even direct Brando.
Couldn't even
What
rein
a
in
pussy.
Brando. Next is Ian McDermott.
But I do love Frank Oz as the director, and the
Yeah.
Muppets are amazing. But the weird misuse of him, and you know what? He's got such good comic timing. Why have him play such a fucking stiff?
Yeah.
Yoda should be kind of funny.
He has the one light moment when he is talking with the younglings and Obi-Wan, where he's kind of being a little playful.
I almost
about
like
the
that
missing
scene.
system.
I almost like that scene.
Yeah, but fuck him.
It's a shitty character. It's not a good.
Ian McDermott is Palpatine.
Okay,
we're
great.
still giving him a thumbs up.
Thumbs
he has
up.
way
He has
less
way less
to
to do in this, but
he's
he does
just kind of creepy.
He does everything he's asked to do well.
It's true.
And I will say, I feel like the character arc of what's happening to Palpatine on the sidelines of these two films is more interesting than what's happening front and center in these two films.
Wish there was more of it.
He's given the
pulling the
most
strings.
solid performance.
Yep.
He's changing an entire galaxy.
Right.
And how his humanity deals with it. I mean, the masks, the covers, the layers of what he's playing, talking out both sides of his mouth. I think I wish we had more of him, but he's a solid good. A thumbs up for you, Ian.
Congratulations, Ian. Pernilla August is Shmi Skywalker. Come on.
Yeah.
She's still good.
Yeah, she's still good. She is. It's, yeah. And you know what? I mean, it's a tough scene, too.
It is. It's
She's
a very
got
tough
one
scene.
scene. She's got to
She's
play
acting
death.
against
She's
a wall.
Yeah.
A brick wall. He's relentless.
Yeah, you know what? It is a good
Yeah,
performance.
no, she's
It
good.
is.
Thumbs up for Pernilla.
I'm angry that that's all they give her
I
to
know.
do.
It's a bummer.
But it's a good performance.
Tamura Morrison is Jango Fett. The great Tamura Morrison, a New Zealand actor. He's a Maori.
This is a really tough one.
I think he's okay.
Yeah.
In his one scene with the helmet off, he projects a little bit of menace.
The scene in his quarters when he's talking to Obi-Wan.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, there's some interesting tension there. That feels like a real scene of two actors acting against each other. Unlike
Yes.
all the other scenes in the movie. That's
little
like,
bit.
But that's like it's a little touch of like, oh, right, that's why it's good to have actors in movies, because you get tension, you get energy from the interplay of the two of them.
Right.
There's like an actual back and forth there that's kind of interesting.
Can we say he's good?
Most of the
It's a
movie, he's
stretch.
wearing a fucking helmet.
I don't. Yeah.
I mean, even the sidelines, it's mostly a physical performance. That's like the one.
He's all right.
He's all right.
I think
good is strong.
All right, I
but
think
bad is strong
Let's
too.
give him
That's the problem.
let's give him a thumbs up. You gonna give me a thumbs down?
I'm gonna give you a thumbs down because
All
I
right,
want
Ben,
Ben to
break
pick
this
on
tie.
this one. Break this tie.
Ooh, this is tough.
Right? Because he's not bad and he's not good.
Right, he really is down the middle.
He's got moments of both.
I'm trying to think when he leading up to his death.
Yes.
Is there any kind of interaction between him and his son?
Oh, absolutely not. He's standing
he doesn't have any.
at the little box with Dooku, and he's like, go out there, get him, puts his helmet on, goes, gets his head sliced off.
Yeah.
For how much they like make a point of being like, Jango Fett had only one request, is to raise a clone as his own, you never really see any emotional bond between the two of them.
Yeah. And I feel like it doesn't get resolved at all, or
No.
there's no kind of real showing of that relationship, father-son, or whatever the fuck it is.
But is it like, does he just want this kid so he can train him? Does he actually care about him? Is he lonely? Like that one scene that is kind of good in how he plays off of Ewan McGregor, he's giving nothing off the kid. Like he's just going like, Jango, hit that door.
Yeah. Very, very, very restrained. It's all internal.
Gotta give us something. I mean, but
he's a bad guy, right? I
he's
mean,
a bad guy.
He's a bad guy, and he is not. He's kind of menacing, like you said.
Kind of.
I don't know
in a
if he-
phantom-y way.
If you compare him to the performance of Christopher Lee, who's like a great bad guy.
Oh, Ben, I think is raising.
He's got it.
So
All right, give
I'm
him
gonna
a no.
I'm gonna
I
give
gotta
him a
say
no.
bad. He never really feels like a threat. Yeah.
That's fair. I think that's very fair.
I think that's
Sorry,
a good
Tamura, you're
point.
great in other movies. Once
Yeah.
We're Warriors is a great movie.
And it's almost a good performance, but we just fall on bad, and a lot of it was once again the hand you were dealt. George Lucas is dealing out poo-poo cards.
That is very true.
You got the ace of poops, my friend.
Jimmy Smits.
Okay.
As Senator Bail Organa.
now-
we have not talked about this
No, we
performance.
haven't talked about this at all.
What a weird one.
So Jimmy Smits at this point is coming right off of NYPD Blue.
And LA Law.
Yeah.
You're talking about 10, 15 years as one of America's like top TV hunks.
Right.
He's got Emmys, he's got Golden Globes.
But I'm saying he had like just left NYPD Blue before coming on this. So at this point, we're like, this is one of the steadiest presences of the small screen.
Yeah, we love him.
We love. He was on fucking Miami Vice too, right?
No, LA Law. LA Law.
Wasn't he on Miami Vice for a couple episodes?
Oh,
I know he wasn't a regular on LA Law. I am not a
No,
fucking
he was a regular
plebeian.
on LA Law.
I know he was a regular on
sure.
LA Law. I know he wasn't a regular on Miami Vice. I think he had an arc. You
Yeah,
fucking dunce.
He's in Brothers Keeper, which is the greatest. Only the one episode, but he's in that episode, which is the
of
greatest.
Miami Vice.
Yeah, which
So
is the
I
greatest.
nailed it.
It looks like it's his first credit too, which is crazy.
So that's why I remembered, and it was a good episode.
It's it's the pilot.
Right.
And
Very quick,
That's why I know.
the
very
Michael
quickly,
Mann
I don't want to interject, but you guys realize that you just set up someone by being like, just coming off of NYPD Blue. Who knows this stuff? You two are ridiculous.
This is a big show.
All right.
NYPD Blue, people loved it.
People loved it.
LA Law, he was a hunk du jour. He jumps straight onto another hit, steers it into the golden land of Hitsville.
Sure, he replaced David Caruso. NYPD
Yeah.
Blue has one big season with David
Right.
Caruso. Caruso's a big star. He jumps ship, goes
Yeah,
to
Ben,
be in
don't
movies.
fucking scoff at us.
No.
This is an important narrative.
He's in
You
Jade.
guys are great together. This is
NYPD blows up. Everyone's like, it's all thanks to that Caruso.
Caruso's
got it.
Your next big star. Caruso's like, I'm too big for this town. I'm going to Hollywood. So in comes Smits.
Man, Caruso leaves. Everyone goes, fucking, you can't do Blue without Caruso. You might as well call it NYPD Carew. You might as well. People thought the show was
NYPD
dead.
Red because of his hair.
Because of his hair. NYPD.
Yeah, no, it's
Caruso.
crazy. And they bring in Smits. What does Smits do?
It takes
Turns
it to
it
the
into
next
a gold
level.
mine.
My
Smits
point
advised.
is, they handed him.
haven't
Smits is a
talked
man
one bit about
who
his
has been
performances.
handed a deck of shitty cards before, and he's fucking won. He swept the table. Guy
so
knows
good.
how to play a game. Fucking good movies too. He was in American Me?
Great movie. That
Guy-
is a great movie. That's
guy's
a great movie.
good.
My Family.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, there's like this like major like a movement of Latino dramas, like independent Latino dramas in the 90s and 80s, and he's starring in a lot of them, doing
He's
really
great.
good work in important films. They're changing a national conversation. You fucking idiot, Ben.
How is he in Star Wars Episode 2?
Not good.
Attack of the Clones.
It's not a good
He's
performance.
like a senator. He's like a nice senator. He's like a peaceful senator. Is that the idea?
yeah, he
of
doesn't
him?
want war. I'd say maybe
He's like a friend of Natalie Portman's of Padme's.
I'd say he's maybe too low key in this role.
You're kind of like, well, it's also you're just like, wow, there's Jimmy Smits. What's he gonna play into?
Doing nothing. Yeah. Senator, I don't know if we should do it.
Sorry, Jimmy. Thumbs down.
Thumbs down, Jimmy.
But you know what? Even since, my God, he was in Dexter.
Yeah.
He was in Cuban sugar plantation drama Kane.
oh, yes.
I don't know if it was Cuba. I think it was Miami. I forget where it was.
I think
set.
it was set.
He was in that show Outlaw, where he played an ex-Supreme Court justice who starts a law firm. It was terrible.
Okay.
He was
West
then
Wing, he played the president.
Of course, he was in West Wing,
Yeah.
and then he was in Sons of Anarchy. And now-
What film work has he done recently? I feel like I liked
he's like-
Jimmy on the big screen recently.
Oh, really? You liked him in a movie?
Yeah, I know he doesn't do many, but I thought I recently
He
saw him in a
mostly-
film.
He sticks to TV.
Why don't we get more of your handsome face?
He was in the Jane Austen book club.
I didn't see it.
He wasn't in all. He doesn't do movies. He was in a movie called Mother and Child. That
Oh
I've
yeah,
never
he's
heard
really
of.
good in that.
Oh, I don't
That's
know
the
that
one.
movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Rodrigo. I do remember this movie.
Yeah.
We had Rodrigo Garcia movie. Anyway,
Okay.
thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
Jack
James Smith.
Thompson is Klieg Lars.
Jack Thompson is Klieg Lars.
Now, Jack Thompson
All right. Yeah.
is an Australian actor, like
Yeah,
a
we need
lot of
background on
like
this
a
guy. We
lot
don't
of
know
the
this guy. Okay.
supporting actors in this
Right.
movie are Australian. So I think he's just a pretty well-known Australian character actor. He has a very long career. He starts in 1968, and he's in a lot of like Australian TV shows, and he's in a lot of movies I've never heard of, and then he's in a TV movie based on Kojak. And I mean, so many things. He's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff in Broken Arrow.
I'm thinking about this performance because
Not a lot of stuff.
He's put in an interesting position on this one, right? Anakin.
He's got a lot to do. He's got to.
But yes.
Go ahead.
But what he's got a lot to do is the audience is going to be reading into his every word, every little bit of energy he's throwing out, right? Anakin's getting nightmares that his mother's in trouble. Mm-hmm. They go back to Tatooine. Watto is like, we sold him to a man. She has a new slave owner. I heard he married her. We hear that. We're like, I don't know what to fucking make of that. That could be any sort of relationship. Like what Watto's telling us, Watto's not to be trusted. Is it an abusive relationship? Is it consensual? Heard they fell in love? I don't know. He fucking owns her. Is that what kind of guy is this?
It's totally true.
Anakin's getting on a speeder bike. He's going to meet his new stepdad, who he's never met before, didn't even know existed, who owns his mother. And so you're getting in there, you're like, what kind of fucking guy is this? And here comes a dude who's like steady as a rock.
Steady as a rock. You totally believe like this is a man of honor and dignity.
He's got a real decency.
It helps that he has like the missing legs, so you're like, all right, I can't,
But even he's a real straight shooter. Yep. He takes a lot of laden dialogue. He makes it all sound very natural and very from the heart. I
forget if you've seen Game of Thrones. Do you watch Game of Thrones?
No, is he on it?
No, he's not on it, but
then I won't
character
watch it.
in Game of Thrones. It's Thompson or nothing for Griffin Newman. There's a character in Game of Thrones who's like kind of similar. Old hermit, lives way out in the wastes. With some concubines.
Yes.
And he's creepy.
Yeah.
This guy could be like that. It's like, he kind of like abducted Shmi into his weird like Mormon cult.
100%.
It's the total opposite.
And even going into the scene, we hear, okay, they fell in love, they got married. I'm going, I don't know. I'm looking for signs. I want to make sure this guy's on the level, Yeah. And in a movie where everyone else is almost always introduced by another character going, hey, this is a bad guy.
Yeah. Yep.
And now introducing a good person.
Yep, we get it immediately.
Here you get context, right? You go, here's what happened with this guy. And you go, ooh, I don't know what kind of guy that is. And his job as an actor is to show you what kind of man he is through temperament, through decency of soul. I mean, just little fucking nuanced signs
right.
of the humanity at the edges of this man. And I think he pulls it off with aplomb.
I do too.
I think this is a good performance.
Sure.
I think this is maybe the underrated performance.
I think you're going crazy.
The underrated performance. The unheralded.
It's never been rated.
Yes. We're the first to rate it.
We're going to give him a good. We're going to give him a good.
I like this section of the movie, too, and I think it's because of his steady hand.
I don't love this section of the movie because it features Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker.
That's true.
That is its issue.
That's a good counterpoint.
Like all the other sections, except for the front. I think we both agree the best part of the movie is the first 20 minutes.
And especially with Colin Scott's edit, his silent edit.
Good.
It's so
Just
good.
mail that right to Lucasfilm right now.
Yeah.
All right, next is Liana Walshman as Zam Wessel, the assassin. The changeling assassin.
Jeez.
I think she's terrible.
I do too.
I think that this is a performance that could have been good.
Yeah.
Then this character is not scary.
Nope.
She doesn't seem very competent. Like, there's nothing coming off of this actress.
She also doesn't move very well. Like, for a character that's mostly a physical presence, I feel like her movements in these action scenes are kind of awkward. I know she's wearing a skin-tight, purple, fucking
with
garbage
like a veil
bag
over her face,
yeah.
but still.
But it's still...
I feel a little bad because this is not a well-known actress.
This is not a well-known actress, and it's not a well-developed role, and it's mostly her fucking in a cockpit surrounded by green screens, looking frazzled, but she doesn't do it well. I'm not saying she's a bad actor. This is a big point I want to make about this episode.
She's another Australian actress.
As if it need not be said.
Yeah.
We're not ranking whether or not definitively these actors are good or bad.
Yeah.
Just in this movie.
Yeah, of course.
We have very little to go off of with this woman otherwise.
No, because we're about to shit all over. We're getting to it. We're getting to it.
But this is not a good performance.
Thumbs down.
Perhaps she's great if you see her in a little playhouse.
Hey, man.
Doing Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. But this is not a good performance.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's put on a production of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf starring Liana Walshman.
It's a great name. Okay, next up.
Ahmed Best, but here's a revelation.
Oh, boy.
He played Ahmed, whatever. He played two characters. Sorry, not whatever. Ahmed Best. There's no C. I'm sort of naturally, I read that as Ahmed, but it's Ahmed Best.
Yeah. Because you're a xenophobe.
Plays two characters in this movie. Did you know that?
I did know that. I've been holding that secret this whole time.
Jar Jar Binks and a character called Ahmed Beck.
Yep. I've been very aware of that, and I haven't want to talk about it.
Who's in the bar, right?
Yes, right. And it's about to tie into another cast member that we're getting to later. But it's in the Elon Sleaze-Bagano scene.
Yeah.
There's a reaction shot after they chop off Zam Wessel's arm. I timed it. It's literally, a second.
Yeah.
They cut to
it's
a
a
corner,
reaction shot.
and he's standing at a table with a drink. He's wearing a blue jumpsuit.
He's got kind of a marking on his face,
Tattoo.
some kind of tattoo. Yeah.
Merchandise spotlight. This character did warrant an action figure.
Are you serious?
Yep,
That's fucking
100%.
insane.
Yeah,
And
came
it-
with
and
a
he-
little table and a drink.
And he has that weird name that is a Baxterism. That's what it's called. Where they're naming it after
Ahmed Beck.
the actor.
Yeah.
Ahmed Beck.
Yeah, there are a surprising amount of merchandise spotlight action figures of that bar scene.
Interesting.
But-
It's a good scene.
Yeah, but it's like Ellen Sleeves Bagano you can get. He comes with part
he's
of the
great.
bar. You
We
could
love him.
maybe assemble the full bar because they made all these bar patrons,
yeah.
but like the boring ones in the background.
Here's the action figure. Wow.
Yeah, and they all come with like a little piece so you could like put it together and make a little scene.
Whoa. He's a male human present at the club. He, along with his partner Donnie Fatoni, was posing as a Republican security force officer attempting to con patrons out of their credits.
This is such
Is
a good
this
character.
the Gragra of Attack of the Clones? There's so much going on here. Wait, later, they conned the aspiring criminal Magaloof. Oh, this is just a bunch of bullshit.
I want to move on because when we get to Donnie Fatoni, we'll be able to tie this in more. I think this is an important note. Let's go to
who
the next
the fuck
cast
is
member.
Donnie
Let's get to the next
Fatoni?
cast member. I want to save it as a surprise. Let's get to the next cast. Who's next on IMDb?
Rose Byrne is Dorme.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we're giving Ahmed Best a thumbs down.
Thumbs down. It's a bad performance.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, of course. No, we're not lunatics.
He's
It's a bad
almost
performance.
worse.
He's almost worse. I do think he's pretty good in the bar scene. He gives a metered,
He's a good look.
understated look.
All right, Rose Byrne is Dorme. She sucks.
Yep.
She's bad. I love Rose
And
Byrne, but what's going
we've
on
said
here?
She has probably gone on to become the best actor of this entire cast of this film. I think the most consistent actor in this cast.
She is having one of the most incredible runs. It's so underrated.
Good in everything.
Good in
Elevates
everything.
all material. Can play in any genre, any size
Absolutely.
role.
Fully agree.
I mean, is really like a five-tool player, you know? She has this old sort of movie star class.
Did you see Annie?
I watched a little bit of her playing. She's fucking great in
I'm
that.
sure she is. I just was wondering. I didn't see that
Yeah,
one.
it's like I
forgot
can't,
she was in that.
I can't believe she makes that work as much as she does.
Yeah, but I loved her in Spy. I loved her in Neighbors. I love her in the Insidious movies.
She's got real dramatic chops.
I loved her in, I enjoyed her in Damages. I guess Damages were, Bridesmaids, get into
Yeah.
the Greek.
I'm immaculate accent work.
Oh, you know what she's fantastic in is Sunshine.
Yes.
Ugh.
Oh,
Where
I
she
love
is
Sunshine.
and Rose Byrne is a strikingly beautiful woman. Incredibly. And
Yes,
in
I have
Sunshine,
often described her as having the perfect face. I think
And
she has the greatest face.
She's
of all
got a
time.
great face. She's got a very sort of sculpture kind
Yeah.
of face. And classically beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
In Sunshine, they managed to make her look like so washed out and exhausted and stressed out
She's been on a
without
ship
it
for
seeming
years.
over the top.
Yeah.
Without it being like this weird de-glam
It's
thing.
not like fucking
She
like
just
Charlize
looks
Theron
like
in Monster.
she's tired.
She looks like a real person.
Yeah.
And it's kind of quietly
and it's her performance.
powerful. Well, it's a great performance, but it's kind of quietly powerful because what the movie is saying is like, yeah, this is an incredibly beautiful person who is
Yeah.
just handed a winning ticket from the genetic lottery.
Yeah.
But like, she's tired. She's gonna look tired.
She's tired.
Like they don't make her try to make her look less beautiful. They just go, this is what this beautiful woman would look like if she hadn't showered and she's not eating very well and she's stuck on a ship where she's sweating all the time.
Right.
It's a great performance in a movie I love wholeheartedly.
Wait,
I know a lot of
Sunshine?
people don't like the last act. I love the
Can
whole
we do a
movie.
Sunshine episode? It's
Would
one of my
love
favorite
to.
films ever made.
Oh, I would love to do
One
a
of my
Sunshine
favorite
episode.
films.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best films of that entire decade.
Yep. Me too.
It's a masterpiece. Rose Byrne's great in it. Chris Evans,
Me too.
probably best performance of his career, I would say.
He's so good in it.
So good in it. We'll do a full
I
Sunshine
don't know if
episode.
it's his best performance.
I think
it might
is.
be. It might be, yeah. I'm trying to think of others. I actually think he's great in the Captain America movies.
I do too.
Especially the first one.
Rose Byrne doesn't have a ton to do in this. It's a little
Dorme, yeah, she's
forced
one of
what
the
she
handmaids.
does.
Very
The goodbye
forced.
scene, the crying scene's a little forced. I think it also just falls into like, she was not used to working in that kind of environment yet. Clearly she has proven since then that she knows what she's doing.
Because Troy is after this, right?
Yeah.
Troy's the first movie I noticed her in.
Yeah, and she's like solid in that.
She's
Solid.
all right.
She's all right. I'm just saying it's very, very difficult to act in a big, big fucking movie like this because what tends to happen is less attention is paid on the acting than anything else.
Right.
They're so worried about every other moving piece, and they're giving you like sort of dialogue, and there are 1,000 cameras in your face, and there are 1,000 concerns, and you don't really have a character to play.
Very true.
It felt like she pushed it a little too hard, but I think this is kind of a fascinating performance because you see like through a couple. She starts out in all these big movies where she has sort of small, unimportant roles and is strikingly beautiful, but doesn't really connect.
She doesn't connect for a while. It's true. Now she actually has a long IMDb list. My God.
It feels like she maybe learned movie by movie.
Yeah.
Because once she got good, it was like suddenly she was only great and great every single time there on out.
I forgot she's in I Capture the Castle, which is a fantastic movie, although it's Romola Gary who's sort of the... Anyway.
Rose Byrne, not good. In Attack of the Clones, one of our favorite living actresses. And maybe this film, is important as a stepping stone for her to learn what not to do in film.
Sure.
She's starting to figure out how she plays on camera and, what to do, what not to do. But not a good performance. Sorry, Rose.
Oliver Ford Davis is Sio Bibble.
I mean, who gives a shit?
No! Thumbs down.
Great.
Ron Falk is Dexter Jetster.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yes. David, Ben, weigh in.
Of course.
Yeah.
I know.
This is a great performance.
All right.
We talked about him for 45 minutes. We couldn't even figure out his voice. I mean, he's the one guy who seems to be doing a, post-melting pot galaxy in which every culture is mashed together. He seems to have all... He's the best. This is the best.
Okay.
This is the best.
It's weird. Jay Lagaia.
Who?
Lagaia. I don't know how you say his name. It's LAGA''AIA.
Okay.
As Captain Typho.
Oh, boy.
I'm giving him a no.
Yeah, I mean, this is just such a boring
compare this shit to Panaka. Panaka is killing it compared to this guy. Panaka, you're like, that guy's in charge. Typho, you're like, oh, who's he again? Have I seen him before?
And we complained a lot about Panaka, but I feel like at the end of the day, we maybe gave Hugh Quarashi a pass because we felt like he did good work. Like he's a solid, steady, clearly skilled, smart actor given an underwritten role. This is not a good performance. It's a hard pass.
Thumbs down.
Yeah.
Andy Secombe is Watto.
I mean...
Of course. Come on.
Yeah, and you know what? I like that's a different shade of Watto because he's really kind of sad. Like his heart isn't in the game anymore.
I think he's great.
I think he's great.
I think he might be better.
I think he is. I think he's playing it less for laughs, and we're really seeing like the
I'm getting all
the
worked
man
up.
behind the curtain. It's a beautiful.
So you giving him a thumbs up, Ben?
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. Hard
Anthony
thumbs up.
Daniels is C-3PO.
And
Donnie Fatoni.
Yo, so two secret fucking invisible actors.
It's almost like
in
it's
Phantom
a little
Menace.
tip of the hey,
yeah,
you didn't get to be on screen for your big role, so let's give you a little shot.
These guys were big parts, but you never saw their faces.
So this is Donnie Fatoni, by the way, is Ahmed Beck's sidekick or whatever.
Okay, so
let's
get back to that Wikipedia page about the two of them because this sounds like an amazing.
Well, apparently they had a. Oh, it's not a Baxterism, it's a Tuckerization. That's what you call naming someone after their own name.
And Danny Fatoni, of course. His name's Anthony Daniels. They flipped it. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Danny Fatoni is a male human from Corellia, aspired to serve in the Republic, was conned into fronting a phony spice mine by a changeling. On the run from the law with his hopes of working in law enforcement dashed, he decided to make a living as a con artist, teaming with his inventive friend Ahmed Beck. They gambled in their con all the way to Coruscant. They get arrested. They escape. They set up shop in the Outlander Club.
Sounds like such a fun movie.
There is so much dialogue. Another fine mess you got us into, Danny. Ahmed Beck. When is this happening? Is there like a whole comic book series?
We'll scroll down. It should have maybe a Legends tab or something like that. There must be expanded.
It is a webcomic called The Clone Wars Departure.
And that's the one?
Well, that's at least one of them.
Okay. I would love to read that. I'm going to try to find that, and I'll have read it for next week's episode.
And in regards to, the pulp kind of storyline, those characters would be really interesting to further develop within that storyline.
Yeah, you know who would be a great subset of people to focus on in this universe, this Phantom Menace universe? I don't know, petty criminals, smugglers.
Absolutely.
That's fun, seeing fucking vagabonds, you know?
There's so much. Okay, so by the way, they eventually tried to con C-3PO and Jar Jar Binks.
Hilarious!
So that's a whole thing. They
oh my God.
They scam a dowager out of her money in the Senate, but it fails. And then they're chased away from the Senate, and they get in a speeder that they steal from Padme Amidala's landing platform. But then it takes them back to C-3PO and Jar Jar.
I like that it almost sounds like they're like the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Like they're having this incredible journey, constantly interacting with our characters in the most tangential way. But meanwhile, like their own lives are pretty full.
Yeah, so it's this whole webcomic called The Clone Wars Departure.
I want to hang out with these scallywags. These guys sound like a fucking laugh and a half.
Anyway, crazy. So we're giving him a plus or a minus? C-3PO, he's good. He's great.
This is
he gets more to do.
Yep, and he's goofy as shit.
Super goofy.
One of the hijinksiest performances I've ever seen.
It's a hijinksy performance.
God, I mean, I think his line readings are funny. Like, whatever your feelings are on that being a section of the movie, I think he's really funny. Like,
Me too.
Lord, what have I said?
I don't know where they found this guy or like what the point of him is exactly, but he's funny.
We're surprised that they brought the character back.
Yeah, it is surprising.
From the first movie, gave him this much more to do, but I think you're starting to get who C-3PO is, and even there's that little exchange between C-3PO and R2-D2 where it's like, oh, this could be a fun thing that
this could be
these
some
two
banter.
robots don't like each other.
Right.
You know, because all the robots just seem so like personality-less, and it's like, oh, these two robots have some like strong fucking opinions, and they might clash. I give him a hard thumbs up.
I give him a hard thumbs up. Silas Carson as Ki-Adi-Mundi and Viceroy Gunray. We didn't like him last time.
Yeah, I mean, Ki-Adi-Mundi remains one of the best-looking Jedi.
Cool, looks cool. Newt Gunray is an abomination and a disgrace.
Give it a thumbs down.
And an embarrassment to all Asians.
And Ki-Adi-Mundi doesn't even have dialogue in this one.
He does wave his sword around.
He just waves his sword. Give him a thumbs down. Give him a thumbs down.
Aisha Darker as Queen Jamila of Naboo.
She seems like a nice lady, right?
She's very pretty. She's an Indian actress. She's got cool makeup on.
She's not bad. I like.
Ooh, interesting. She's a British. She works in British TV. She's in Coronation Street for 54 episodes.
Okay.
Recently, she was in Indian Summers, which is a miniseries on Channel 4 that my friend and fan of the show Nikesh Patel starred in.
Whoa!
So there you
fan
go.
of this show?
Yeah, he's a fan of this show.
Hey,
we went to high school together. We were a couple of nerds in high school together. Now he's become an actor. He's an Indian actor, and he's doing great. He's on Indian Summers. She was on Indian Summers. I'm going to give her a thumbs up.
I'm going to give her a thumbs up too.
She's pretty good. Because it's sort of weird because you're like, oh, here's the new Amidala. You know, it's kind of an odd moment where you're seeing this lady with she's got like white makeup and sort of blue, I don't know, she's wearing some sort of blue, sort of flowery headdressy thing. I don't know. It's kind of cool.
I'll say the other interesting thing about her is that I have a mouthful of peanuts right now.
He does. As I was saying this, he was sort of like turning away in shame, but it was just eating peanuts.
Too loud, but now I'm just going to chew my peanuts on mic. Amidala always felt like she was trying to pass for a grown-up.
Yeah.
You know, like act beyond her years and maturity.
I do.
I like that this queen kind of seems like a kid.
She does.
Like a thoughtful kid.
Kid.
With a good sense of morality, head on her shoulders, but she's like not posturing.
I agree with this. I agree with everything.
She's a little
you're
more
saying.
natural than Natalie Portman was in the headdress. I think it's a good performance. And she's buddies with your buddy.
Yeah,
and
she's buddy with Nikesh Patel. I mean, I don't know if they're buddies, but they both worked on the same show.
Maybe they're enemies, but still.
But Nikesh has tweeted at me about this show and about my deep radio voice. I don't have No, I don't think he was. Anyway. Joel Edgerton is Owen Lars.
Okay, another actor I love.
Yeah, we talked about him.
I have loved most of the work he has gone on to do in the last 10 years or so.
Sure.
In this performance, he doesn't really register.
He really doesn't.
He's got a great face.
You remember Daddy Lars.
Yeah.
And that's it. You don't remember Owen. You don't remember Baru, who is the wife.
But I will say,
girlfriend, whatever.
I will say, he does have a very, very interesting face. I remember seeing him in this.
Good face.
And then like 5 or 6 years later, when maybe Kinky Boots came out, when he started to appear in other stuff,
I
like immediately recognized him as like, oh, that was that guy who left no impression in.
Right. It was a big movie that we watched. Yeah.
But he does have a certain presence. It's not a good performance.
So
but
after Attack of the Clones, he's he's in Ned Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's in King Arthur as Sir Gawain.
Okay.
Remember the weird Antoine Fuqua?
Yeah, so these are like a couple failed epics in a row.
And then Kinky Boots, Smokin' Aces. Mm-hmm. He starts to build up, I think, a little more of a real career, and then he gets big. He's in Animal Kingdom. He's in Warrior. He's in
I believe he produced Animal Kingdom. He might have co-written it as well. He and his brother, Nash Edgerton, have like a whole like sort of cottage industry in Australia. Right. His directorial debut is coming out later this month. It's supposed to be great.
He didn't write. David Michaud is the man behind it.
He produced it.
Maybe
I know.
He produced it.
Yeah.
Anyway, thumbs down.
Agreed.
Daniel Logan is Boba Fett. No, I think he's bad.
I think so too.
Yeah, thumbs down. We should pick it up.
Yeah. My hesitation was that I have a friend who is constantly trying to become a guest on this show, and his big poker chip he keeps on throwing out
promising us Daniel Logan?
He says, my sister dated Daniel Logan in high school. I could probably get you some Daniel Logan scoops. I just want to get Daniel Logan on the show. I just want to get anyone who was in Attack of the Clones on the show. But
I'll say this.
Yeah.
Daniel Logan's better than Jake Lloyd.
No question.
For a kid performance.
Yeah.
And he picks up the head pretty nicely, but he doesn't really register.
No, agree.
Bonnie P.S. as Beru.
Yeah, I mean, another, like, she's got a nice face. Seems like a nice lady. It doesn't register.
I'm trying to see if she's done anything else interesting in her life, but not really.
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
Ben.
Anthony Phelan is Lama Su. Voice only.
You know what? I like this performance
Another
a lot.
Australian actor.
I like this performance.
He recently played a priest in Unbroken, in Angelina Jolie's Unbroken.
Interesting.
He was in an episode of Top of the Lake.
Interesting.
He did 50 episodes of famed Australian soap Home and Away. Oh, whoa.
What?
What's buried down there right at the bottom? Right at the bottom, security guard in Babe Pig in the City.
What?
Another Australian film.
Yeah. I love this guy. I gotta say now.
All right, thumbs up.
No, I think
good job, Anthony.
I think got
Phelan.
great voice, mostly delivering exposition, but with
fine.
a really
He's
interesting
good.
rhythm. Yeah, I like it.
But then, how do you feel about Raina Owen as Lama Su?
Like it too.
Now,
I like these Camonians.
Yeah, Caminoans.
I might be a little swayed by. I like their design so much, and I think
She's a New Zealand actress.
I think
Owen.
they're the one
Cool
example of CGI effects in the movie that totally hold up. I think, especially in close-ups, they look really great.
They hold up. The backgrounds don't.
Looks
but
terrible.
They hold up.
I think the acting work on those characters is really strong and subtle, and I think the detail work on the actual models is really, really good.
Raina Owen also in Once Were Warriors. I believe she's the female lead of Once Were Warriors.
Interesting.
She's great.
Reteamed with Tamara Morrison.
Here's something I want to tell you.
Yeah.
She is one of 6 actors in the world to have worked with both George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. Because
What was
she
the
is in
Spielberg
AI.
Playing?
Let's find out.
I watched AI like a week ago.
One of my favorite movies ever made.
Great movie.
Seriously, the best. She plays a ticket taker.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool for her, though.
I'm sorry, that didn't blow you more.
No, it's cool for
away.
her. Next performance.
I would like to know who the other 5 are, though. I'd have to think about that. Harrison Ford. No, he wasn't. No, yeah, he's in American Graffiti.
Right, he's American Graffiti, and he's in the Indiana Jones films.
I pulled myself out of that tailspin. Anyway.
Real indie style.
Aletha McGrath as Madame Jocasta Nu. Alethea McGrath.
Well, okay, so this is tough.
I think she's good.
I mean, I think she's great if we assume she's playing what we have put on this character.
Yeah, right. She's playing a desperate attempt to keep secret the fact that she had an affair with Count Dooku.
That she feels protective of him and his information because she thinks what they had was love, and for him, she was just another side piece, you know? I think that's an interesting performance that she's playing there. Otherwise, you could say that maybe she's aloof.
She's kind of annoying. Yeah. She's fine. Let's give her a thumbs up.
I give her a thumbs up.
Wait a second. How many thumbs up do we have?
So far, we are at 12 thumbs up and 14 thumbs down.
Let's give her a thumbs down. I'm worried about
I'm
this.
Getting worried.
It's getting too close.
I thought we were being so negative this one. How did this get
but then we
close
gave
again?
both of the Caminoans thumbs up.
Yeah, I mean, those are thumbs up. We should have been saving up for those
I'm
two.
excited for this one.
Okay.
Susie Porter as WA7. Do you know who WA7 is?
Flo?
Exactly. There she is, the waitress from
God.
Dexter's thingy. His restaurant.
What's there to discuss?
It's a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an automatic thumbs up. It's a thumbs up and 2 dicks up. I'm rock as a board. Rock as a board.
Rock as a board.
I'm rock as a board, man.
She also played a character called Hermione Bagua, who...
In this movie?
In this movie, who is another waitress at Dexter's
Oh, yes, the
diner.
human waitress in the background.
Yeah, so she's both characters. So she's playing all the waitresses.
So let's give her 2 thumbs up.
No, 1 thumb up is enough.
For a grand total of 4 thumbs.
Anyway, Then we have
2 dicks.
Then we have Matt Doran as Elon Sleaze-Bagano.
Oh, I mean...
Another Australian actor, best known for another film, his performance in another film, also shot in Sydney.
Mouse in the Matrix. Yeah, I mean, I love this guy. I always think about, wonder what happened to him. I mean, he made such a big impression on me.
He seems to mostly make Australian things. He's not done much. He's in a lot of shorts these days. It's not, it kind of fell off.
I mean, dude fucking kills it in this. I'd say it's probably my favorite supporting performance of 2002.
I think this is so bizarre, but okay. It's not.
Should have won an Oscar. It's got fucking razor-sharp comic timing. You see an entire arc of a man having to question all his life choices up until that. He's got 40 seconds. You see a man reassessing everything he's ever done, ever been. He's a sleaze bagging, though, David. He never had a chance.
Yeah, he gets a thumbs up. Let's move on.
I wanted you to fight me on that one. I love him.
Whatever. He's all right. I love Mouse.
Mouse is great.
The chicken, it tastes like chicken monologue in The Matrix.
Yeah, he's great.
He's cool.
All right, so we're winding down. I just want to let you gentlemen know we are at 14 thumbs up, 15 thumbs down.
Ooh.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Alan Rusko is Lot Dodd.
Down.
Yep. Matt Sloan is Plu Kloon.
Down. You pointed at me because you thought I was going to do it.
Don't you do this.
No, because I was like...
That's the bug face Jedi.
My counterpoint was going to be, David, he has a cockroach face. And then I remembered that has nothing to do with performance. I was going to give the actor credit for wearing a mask with the face of a cockroach.
Veronica Segura as Corday.
She's the one who dies at the beginning?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
No.
Really?
I give her a down. I think she's bad. I feel a little mean now.
I'm going to give her a thumbs up and have Ben do a tiebreaker. I kind of like her.
That's okay. She can have a thumbs up. She's all right.
Ben Corday, the one who dies at the beginning. And don't judge her as a handmaiden because she obviously fails on that front. She goes, I'm so sorry I've let you down.
I don't know.
Thumbs up.
No.
All right, thumbs down.
You guys got enough thumbs up.
David Bowers is Masameda. That's the blue guy who's like the sort of right-hand man
with
to
the
Palpatine.
dick dreadlocks on the sides of his face. Yeah, thumbs down, bro.
Major thumbs down.
Major thumbs down.
All right, now I'm not going to go after any characters who are not named, like, Naboo Lieutenant or whatever.
No, absolutely not. So keep scrolling.
Zachariah Jensen is Kit Fisto.
Oh, God, he looks so cool. And he's got that moment where he smiles and gives
I think he's
thumbs
great.
up.
Let's give him a thumbs up.
Oh, boy. Are we tied now? Are we...
what about this?
All right, so
he gets a thumbs up.
You're at now 14 thumbs up and 20 thumbs down.
Well, we're almost over.
Okay.
Alex Knoll is J.K. Pertola. Do you know who that is?
No.
It's the 4-year-old initiate who knows where the fucking system is.
Oh, yes.
You giving him a thumbs up?
Yeah, kid's great.
All right.
He's got the goods. What's he been up to since then?
Alex Knoll, what's he been up to? Let's see. He's not in any other films ever made.
Okay, well, one and done. Sometimes.
Phoebe Yamikati as Mary Amethyst, another of the initiates, a 4-year-old human Jedi initiate. She's a little Asian girl. I don't remember her in this film at all.
Oh, she sounds cute. Give her a thumbs up.
She's very cute.
Yeah, it's adorable.
And finally, Kenny Baker as R2-D2.
I mean, once again, how do we even rank this, right?
I don't know. He's the last credited performer.
What do you do? I don't know how much of that was CGI. What was
he's
he just
in
working
there?
The remote
Oh, he's in there.
The whole time? What, he's flying?
Yeah, he can fly it. He
Kenny Baker can fly? How do you fucking...
He's in there. He's in there. We know it.
No.
We know it. We know he's in there.
I say it's another... I say, what, we gave him a too close to call last time. What do we do? We ranked him neither good nor bad. He was the one...
Yeah, he gets a question mark.
He gets a question
mark. I
want
to point out that Liam Neeson is uncredited as Qui-Gon Jinn archive sound. Is there even an archive sound? Is that something that Yoda hears, maybe?
Yeah, I forget what the moment was. I looked this up. There's some scene where you can hear Qui-Gon's echo underneath another piece of dialogue.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. They're very vague. Anyway.
Yeah, I give him a thumbs down for that. He should have looked at his contract and made sure that they weren't allowed to fucking reuse his dialogue in other movies.
Okay, so what's our final tally?
Okay. So, final tally is 15 thumbs up.
Okay.
20 thumbs down, and 1 question mark for Kenny Baker.
I'm more comfortable with that. I still think we gave too many thumbs up.
So who do we give thumbs ups to?
Kit Fisto, all of the Child Jedi, both Kimonians. Ewan McGregor, Christopher
Anthony
Lee,
Daniels.
Ian McDermott, Anthony Daniels as the bar patron.
We gave thumbs up to the whole cast of Dex's Diner.
Joel Schumacher.
So good. I loved it when he told
He's
you.
a nice guy.
We also gave Jack Thompson underrated performance.
Oh, right. I forgot we gave him that award.
And Ian McGregor got possibly most improved.
Lars. Right, okay, so most improved. Let's go on a couple other superlatives. Most improved is Ewan McGregor. Jack Thompson wins underrated. I'd say Dexter Jettster's MVP.
Yeah, all right. He's the most memorable.
Oh, so you're saying he's an MMP?
I'm so hot and tired.
We're so angry.
I have to be on MVR tomorrow.
You're talking about joke theft.
Oh God. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, Dexter Jettster, he wins.
He wins.
Can we do a Sunshine episode and a Pixels episode?
Yeah,
what are we gonna do next week? I don't remember this movie. What happens in Attack of the Clones?
We got to get a guest on again next week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we'll reassess things in the movie we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, what are we gonna do? Well, we should do a commentary episode.
We will do a commentary episode,
and we'll do our commentary as well.
Yes, I think the commentary episode we're gonna do a bonus materials
It'll be a DVD
episode.
extras
I think it's gonna be a DVD because of some of those deleted scenes I want to watch that Lang was talking about in our romance episode.
Oh boy.
I want to watch some more documentaries about the casting of Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. We will do. I think we might do one on the actual filmmaking.
Yeah, you're really obsessed with that.
As
one.
the
That
first
one's gonna be
digital
a
film.
snoozer.
It's about if we can get the right guest. I think if we can get a good guest for that episode,
I think
it'll be
I know who
interesting.
we should get for that.
Yeah.
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 Good idea.
So schedules
me and Griffin, we're telepathic right now.
Yeah.
And we can always do a fan fiction episode.
Hey, I would love to.
If you want to dig up some fan fiction in advance, that's cool or weird.
Like I did last time.
Then
if you want me to
down.
do the same thing I did last
Then
episode,
I'm
yes, I
down.
would gladly do that.
You remember the first fan fiction you tried to read, which was just like it was so boring.
I am a fast reader. In my head, everything takes 35 seconds. I read fucking Ulysses in a minute. Reading out loud, it's like a fucking snail's pace. I didn't know it was going to take that long rolling off the tongue.
Who's another director you've auditioned for who gave you weird advice?
I mean, this is weird but good advice.
I think Joel Schumacher's best movie is Tigerland.
Yeah.
You know, I like Phone Booth.
Really? I've never seen Phone Booth.
What? You should see it. It's weird.
I had a really big paper that month. I remember distinctly I had a really big English paper that month, and I just was like, no movies this month. I got to work on this paper.
It's so weird. You know what? The Client's pretty good. You know, The Lost Boys is pretty good.
So you love Joel Schumacher.
Well, but then he also made like half a dozen of like the worst movies ever.
Yeah. Weird director advice that I liked. I thought it was good, but it was like a weird note that I'd never heard before.
Go for it.
In Audition, Edgar Wright told me that he finds not blinking funny.
Interesting.
So he was like, if it's
Edgar
too
Wright
hard,
knows his shit.
don't worry about it.
Did you see Ant-Man?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I liked it a lot. I thought it was really solid.
I think Ant-Man was great.
I
But
think it's a solid movie.
I do wonder what Edgar Wright would have done.
I do too. I think we only can judge it as the film it was.
I totally agree.
But
and I think Peyton redirected the hell out of it. I think he did a great job.
I did too. But Edgar Wright told me, he was like, if you can't do it, it's hard. I understand. I just like to test people this way.
Was he? What was it? Scott Pilgrim? What were you
Scott
auditioning
Pilgrim.
for? Yeah. What were you going to do? What was it?
I was very close to playing young Neil in that movie.
Ugh. You would have been a great young Neil.
But
you know, whoever it is good. Who
he's
is
very
it?
good.
What's his name? He's very
Johnny
funny.
Simmons.
Johnny Simmons. He's very funny.
It's very funny. I think I was number 2.
That's crazy.
I was
wow,
like,
what if you were young Neil?
Johnny Simmons had another movie, and it was a thing where they were trying to work out the scheduling. And I was like, for 3 months, I had like dropped out of college 6 months earlier and was like, I'm going to be a movie star. And then like suddenly this thing happened, and they were like, if this kid can't work out his schedule, you are in Scott Pilgrim.
And that was like a long shoot, right?
Yeah.
That's a great director's commentary. Or there are 2 commentaries on that.
Yeah.
One is Edgar Wright, Michael Cera, and Brian Lee O'Malley, and it's like a pretty fun but straightforward. And then one is like the supporting cast, and what's her name? What's the lady
Mae
from
Whitman?
Parks and... No, what's the Parks and
Aubrey
Recreation?
Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza is hung over.
Yeah.
They're doing it after the premiere, I think.
Yeah.
And she is so mean and grouchy.
Yeah.
And then she gets in a fucking fight with Anna Kendrick, who is like her sort of chirpy self.
Sure.
About like, you know, like feeling uncomfortable about the sexy ladies that come with the Indian guys dance, where Anna Kendrick's like, I think they look great, and and then it is tense for the rest. It's a great commentary. You should listen.
I want
to
to
it.
listen to that.
It's crazy. Anyway, it sounds like that scene took forever to shoot.
Yeah. I think
months.
So. Yeah, that was a long shoot. Because I was very aware the entire time it was shooting that I was not in it.
Oh, Chris Evans is great in that too.
Yeah, everyone's great in that movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I was sort of like the backup option should he drop
kind of
out for like months.
Mm-hmm.
They kept on being like, yeah, maybe.
Right.
And I got to audition for him. He complimented me on my ability to not blink that much, and he told me he was like,
well, young Neil, that is kind of because he is kind of like this weird zombie. Yeah,
that was the one.
Makes sense.
I worked on this in my performance because I'm a very big comic book fan. I was working at a comic book store at the time that I was auditioning and really wanted to quit my job and was like, oh, if I'm a movie star, I can quit my job.
Right.
So I just every day at work would like when no one was paying attention, just look through the books and like study the frames and try to figure out how to replicate the physical posture because so much of that character was like silent, responsive. And so I got really good at keeping my eyes open really wide. And he was like, if you could try to not blink at all, that'd be great. And he told me it was on Shaun of the Dead. Some of the zombies would blink. And he was like, I don't want zombies blinking. So he digitally removed them. And it worked so well. He was like, oh, it's so much funnier when people don't blink. Then other movies since then, he sometimes takes out blinks when he thinks it'd be funnier.
Wow.
Like he tells all actors, like, if you can not blink, that'd be great. But he was like, yeah, I took out a lot of like Nick Frost blinks and like Hot Fuzz. Because once I got in the editing room, I was like, man, a lack of blink there would kill it.
What do you think the worst Edgar Wright movie is? I think it's Hot Fuzz.
I do too.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean.
Do you know what I think the best one is, though?
World's End?
Yeah.
It's starting to grow on me. I watched it for the third time recently, and I liked it the least the first time I watched it.
Me too.
And now,
it gets better every time for me. It's actually a fantastic movie.
Can I tell one nice story to like put an end on this thing and try to be positive? Because now I'm like remembering a nice thing that happened in my life.
Yeah,
I'll allow it.
So I was like obsessed with the Scott Pilgrim books. And I was working at this comic book store.
Fucking obsessed with those books.
Obsessed, and I would like treat them the way that like kids treated Harry Potter. When a new one came out, I would like run home and read it like first thing I wanted, like before anyone ruined anything about it. Yeah, I was like deep into comics at the time, and then when the movie was being cast, the last 2 or 3 books still hadn't come out.
I believe that's right. When the movie came out, the last book hadn't come out.
Right, so I'd already gotten really into it,
and the movie's kind of based on the first 3 books, and then the rest is kind of them doing.
Well,
their
I'll
own
tell
thing.
you when I scoop. But when I auditioned, the whole last act of the film was entirely different.
Right.
Because they still hadn't, like, Brian Lee O'Malley hadn't figured out yet. There was a lot of, like, communicating to figure out how to make both things end in vaguely the same place. But love the books. So, like, the final book, I think, comes out maybe a month before the movie comes out. So at this point, it's been, like, 2 years since I first auditioned, 6 months on the bench waiting to hear if I got the part, didn't get it, was very depressed about it for a while, was tracking the whole thing. When I snuck into a screening and saw it early when there were like people handing out flyers on the street, test screenings, I loved it. And was like, I hate I'm not in this, but I get to watch this movie. This movie's great, whatever it is. And I go to New York Comic Con with my buddies, and he's doing a signing there. The book has just come out. And I step up to get my book signed from him, and he looks up at me and says, have we met before? And I said, no. And he went, are you sure? You look like really familiar. And I was like, no. And he's like, we definitely like didn't meet at like a con or something.
Wow. So he's pressing it.
And I was like, I mean, I don't think this would like, but I was like kind of close to getting cast as young Neil. And he was like, yeah.
Right, that's you.
And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, because I remember your tape distinctly. You look exactly like the real life friend I based the guy on. And I like really like the idea of you playing it because you were just identical.
Like, that's it. They're like, that's what he looks like.
You had the energy, like you were totally, not even playing young Neil in the books, but you were playing the real guy. And he like signed my book and he drew young Neil in it and he said like, nice meeting you. It was like really nice. It was nice to like 2 years later be like, oh, you know, this fucking industry. Sometimes people say like,
no, of
shit.
course.
You never know if it's true.
But that was obviously not him bullshitting you. That's
2 years later, he remembered my audition.
Because he would have just been like, oh, forget it.
Yeah,
but
he was
like, no.
It emotionally affected me. I thought it was really sweet to watch someone, and it had the effect of like you were playing the guy.
Giving him a little pat.
Yeah.
This episode might be our longest ever episode.
That's not true.
Well, the commentary is longer.
We'll cut some stuff out.
No, we won't. No. Add stuff in.
Add stuff in.
Yeah,
sure.
Ben, if you could add some stuff in.
Yep.
Yeah, if you can cut in like more of the erotic fan fiction.
I could do that.
Episode?
Yeah. I could do that. Maybe some Michael Jackson music.
Would love that. Can you end this episode with "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough"?
Yeah.
Play it 6 times.
Yeah.
And a loop.
Yeah, just back to back to back. And if they sue us, tell them they can take all their complaints right to the UCB, right to the top.
To my boss.
Yeah.
To the Big Four.
All the way to Besser.
To the Big Four.
Great.
Yeah, tell them to knock on Amy Poehler's door.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Can Amy Poehler be a guest on this show?
definitely. We'll get her on next week.
I'll email her, see if she's interested.
What is she, amy@ucb.com or something like that?
It's actually amy.poehler
Poehler.
at Gmail.
That is R.I.P. Harris Whittles. That is one of Harris Whittles' one of my favorite tweets of his, which was just like here's a little scoop. Everyone you like, their email address is just their name at gmail.com.
Anytime I've ever gotten an acting job where I'm like a tiny part in a thing with big ass actors and there's a mass email, I'm like, oh, literally everyone's email is like tom.cruise@gmail.com. Everyone. You could guess any celebrity's email.
Now, whether they'll reply to you, that's another story.
Well, they're busy.
They're very busy
They're
people.
very busy people. Producer Ben, thank you so much as always.
Oh, of course.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Fennel.
This has been a very angry one, but I think we worked through some of our issues. I feel less stressed out than I did walking in.
Me too. This is the best episode that's ever been recorded in
Of any
medium.
podcast. Slight's going to have to revise their list. And as always, don't stop until you get enough.